I'm Bob Arum, and I'm with the Fighter's Voice.
My name is Andre Ward.
Knocking out the competition.
Fighter's Voice!
The Fighter's Voice.
Fresno, California, ladies and gentlemen, we're live here on the Fighter's Voice Knockout Podcast. We got a great show for you scheduled for today. Today with us, we have with us in studio by way of Zoom, man. Thank God for Zoom, I'm telling you, man. If it wasn't for Zoom, we'd be lost. We got the former WBA, IBF, super Bantamweight champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen. I just asked him his age, man, and I think the dude is lying because he looks much younger. That's Daniel the Babyface Assassin Roman. Welcome to the studio. Welcome to the show. When I say studio, you know what? Right now, you got your own home studio, man.
Yeah, well, thank God for Zoom, like you said, right?
Exactly, man. And thank God for, fighters like you, man, that want to step up to the plate, come on the show, have some fun, talk boxing, hit up some topics, get your take on the boxing world, and also talk about your career, man, and what's coming up. Because I'm hearing different things, man, but I want to hear it from you yourself, man. First of all, let's just jump right into it, man. Talk to us about why the sport of boxing. I've watched you. You're very athletic. I bet at one time you either played baseball or soccer because you're very athletic. Why the sport of boxing?
I mean, well, before I even got in, I was doing just playing a regular soccer, regular soccer game. I ended up getting beat up, and at that time, my cousin and my brother were doing boxing with my uncle. So my dad, that's when he decided to send me over there. I didn't have no idea about boxing. I just had heard about it because of my brother, but anyway, so I started actually doing it, and little by little, started getting the hang of it. Doing a couple of sparrings, couple of fights, and I knew it was the sport for me.
What was the age? First of all, when you played soccer, what position you played? Striker, fullback, mid? What'd you play?
Yeah, I was playing everything, man. Wherever the ball went, I had the energy to go up and down. So.
Oh, okay, then you're probably a halfback then. What number did you wear?
Damn, I can't remember. Had to be either 7 or 8. There
you go, man. I thought maybe you'd rock, 10 like Pelé or something. That's the number right there, man. I know you still get down with those Chivas, right?
Hey, man, I don't keep up, but I support soccer though. But
okay,
Chivas, okay, caiga.
There you go. Just stay away from America, man, because if not, the show got real quick, man. Because they're the big rival, man, and they just finished playing, man. All my buddies, they support America. It's all good, man. But so when you were playing soccer, you ran into a roadblock there. How old were you before you started boxing?
I was like 7 or 8 before I started boxing.
Okay, so you started at 7, at the age of 7.
Yes.
Okay, and that just came natural to you? Is it something that you excelled at, or you worked hard to get where you're at today?
Well, I think in every sport, you got to put in the work. You got to work hard at whatever you do, and some people are naturally talented, but like it only gets you to a certain point.
No, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, a lot happens in the gym, and the progression happens at the gym, and it's not a race; it's a marathon. And I'm sure you've heard many trainers tell you that. Take your time; your time's gonna come. Just continue to be faithful and dedicate yourself to the craft. I spoke briefly with your manager, man, and he's just so upbeat, man. I mean, just full of energy, man. Tell us what it's like. Your management team working out in the gym, and go ahead and give your gym a shout out. What's the atmosphere like inside your gym?
Oh, well, right now I'm training at Fundamentals is located in Bell Gardens. Great people. I got Team Roman there. I got my manager, like you said, my manager trainer. I got my corner people as well. Don Chuy, his son, Chuy Jr. And I mean, it's good to work with people that appreciate you and show that love as well too.
No, exactly. You got quite a fan base too, man. I was talking to a buddy of mine, Lalo from Lalo's Boxing, and when we were talking, man, he put you in the top 3, man. He was talking about that Cat Nettie, man, and also he was even talking about you. It would be a great matchup, you and the Monster. And I was saying, you know what? That'll be a great fight, man. I mean, the guy. He's not just full of power. He sets traps. If you notice the last fight with Maloney, he was setting traps. That right hand that he timed it just perfect. That wouldn't just happen overnight. That was rounds of setting up those traps. As you know, in boxing, if you had your pick at your shot at the title, what champion do you think you match up? What's styles make fights. What style do you think you match up better out of the two?
Out of the Monster and Luis Neri?
Yes.
I mean, like you say, his style makes the fight. Both of the fighters, I think both of them, I'll give a great fight with both of them, because both of them come to fight. And I'm ready right there to fight as well. And, we'll just make the proper adjustment with either with Neri or with the Monster, But, it's boxing. Anything can happen, They got the power. They got the skills. They're smart fighters. But at the same time, I've been there too, and I know how to fight as well.
Yeah, I know you do, man. And I'm hearing through the grapevine, man, that you're going to be the mandatory, like it or not. I mean, your name's going to be next to Eddie, and that fight's going to take place, man. Say that fight does take place. What are you going to change this time so you can continue to not only get the title back, but to hold on to it to be successful? What changes will you be making? I mean, I'm not talking about giving away strategies or anything, but somebody else wants to, it's all about levels. What level are you going to take it to once your name is on that poster and the fight is official?
Usually I start a little bit late during the fight, and I got to practice on that, I can't be starting off late. Give off a few rounds, 1 or 2 rounds, that could make a difference. So if I could, I'll start since the beginning, applying that pressure, applying that strategy that I'm going to come up with.
I'm sure you and your team have put something together, and I'm sure as we speak, they're doing their homework and watching every champion out there and preparing yourself, not just in the gym, but, as I say in boxing, it's not just physical, it's mental as well, because you got to be mentally prepared when you make that walk, whether there's a crowd or not. Talk to us about what's been the big difference since the whole COVID hit for your training methods, as opposed to when it was just an open gym, a regular world that we used to live in.
First of all, I'm have to say the sparring. We struggle a little. I think everybody's struggling a little to get the proper sparring because most of the gyms are closed, Yeah. And I'm training at a private gym, so it's just me and the team there. But other people that don't got that privilege, they struggle to find a gym. So I'm have to say the sparring, the preparation to get you ready, the style that you need to get ready to fight your opponent, and basically some other stuff that it requires you to be outside, and you can't be outside because of the pandemic going on, or stuff like that. It affects you even during the fight. When I was fighting on my last fight, mentally I got ready. I'm gonna fight there, and it's gonna be empty. But believe it or not, the adrenaline from the people transmit from you. So you hear everything's quiet. You can hear the commentator, you can hear the corner, but you need something to pump you up, to motivate you. And some people need that adrenaline from other people, the fans. So it was kind of weird, but during the fight, you're gonna have to make that adjustment, get used to that.
It sounds like you're a very honest fighter, because a lot of fighters have said, "Oh, it doesn't bother me. It's just like a sparring match." The first fighter that I've heard nationally that says, "Hey, it does. It had an effect on me," was Jose Ramirez. He vibes off the crowd, and he said, it was difficult not having the crowd there. And being that said, the professional and champion that he is, he did make the adjustments. You talk about adjustments in the ring. I mean, we're all in a fight. We may not be in the ring right now, but we're all getting used to these conditions. Every time they say it's okay to go to the store, now it's okay only if you have to. It keeps changing. What have you done personally to adapt to just living? I mean, has it changed your routine at all? I know you talked about the sparring, but has it changed, what you were doing? I don't know. Were you taking classes? Were you going to school? Did it affect your job? What adjustments did you make in life?
Well, usually I'm in church every Sunday, so
that's right.
I haven't been going because of the same thing, this pandemic going on, and you can't be crowded. Even though it's a difference, it's a different vibe,
Yeah.
You're used to something, and all of a sudden you don't do it. But like I said, I'm home. I'm here reading the Bible, praying.
Amen.
But you need that contact, to see how they doing, to either pick them up or give them some motivation words.
Yeah.
But overall, that's inside. The rest, like, I'm used to it, you know, because once I'm in training camp, I try to separate myself from everybody. So I'm not gonna say it affect me a lot, but like it affect me a little bit, as well as the family, because you know, I'm around people and I don't want to get contaminated, because once I get the virus, it's gonna hold me back and I won't be able to fight. So I'm gonna stay away from my family and from people, you know, from friends that I always got used to seeing, especially when I got the day off after training so much. You just want to get your head off the boxing. So my family, and I'm taking online classes, so that's a good thing. But either way, it's not the same.
Yeah,
It's not the same. I'm right there in front of the laptop, and I get sleepy, man, just sitting there. I like to interact, but yeah, I mean, with this pandemic going on, I mean, I think all of us got to make this adjustments. But like, it's best to follow it so we can like keep ourselves safe as well.
no, exactly. Let's get back. I want to comment on something that you said. You know, that you're reading the Bible and praying. Hey, brother, keep me in prayer, man. Keep me on track, man. I need to be. I need to be where I need to be. You know, God to set me straight. And me hearing that, I probably needed to hear that conviction, man, and stay on track. And I'm proud of a man that always puts God first, and that doesn't. Not ashamed of the gospel, man. You know what I mean? The gospel is not ashamed of me, so why am I ashamed of the gospel? So, and I know that's where you get your inner strength and your peace and just the favor that you got in the protection. That way you can continue to test a negative when those tests come. And I'm sure family and friends, they got to understand, you being a fighter, that's your living. You can't jeopardize all a whole training camp just to, you know, test positive, and then you're set back. So I'm sure it must be difficult for them to understand, but at the same time, they're in your corner, and I know that they're pulling for you, because I know you got to miss those scraps, man. Today I was posting pictures, and I was deciding. I said, well, should I post the pictures? You know, a lot of fighters. I don't like to use the word former. You know, like whenever you introduce a Marine, they're never a former Marine. They're always a Marine. But, you know, sometimes that's difficult for me to say. Do I say former, or do I say, you know, for me, there's no such thing as former. I mean, because they're a champion. What I'm saying is, how bad do you miss those bouts? And what are you going to do to get those bouts back? What noise are you going to make? What steps and obstacles are you going to overcome?
Oh, the belts, man. I know, like, it's like they say, once you're a champion, you're always a champion. But like, I take either you're a champion or you're not, you know. That's my mentality, you know. Yeah. So I want to become a champion again. So what I got to do, I got to work harder. I got to work on my mistakes. The mistakes I made, I can't make them again. You know, those are my flaws, and I just got to step up my game, you know, work harder, practice what I got to practice, and keep myself focused, and become hungrier than what I was before becoming a champion, because I knew I was at that level. But like, I could do even more.
You know, growing up, you know, like nowadays, I mean, you see a football player and you kind of want to mimic this running back or this quarterback. Baseball. Who did it for you in boxing? What fighters did you look up to, and who would you compare your style to? Any of the fighters of yesterday? Who would you compare your style as closest to? Like, for example, I kind of remind, you know, I kind of move around like Duran or Pepino Cuevas or Salvador Sanchez, or I hit like Tommy Hearns. Who would you say you compare yourself to, and what fighter motivated you to be where you're at today?
You know, I grew up watching Chavez Sr. My dad, that was my dad's favorite fighter. You know, I try to imitate Chavez Jr., but unfortunately, I don't got that style. You know. Yeah. So I'm more like a technical fighter. So you could say like more like Marquez. I used to like Marquez, the counter punches. Yeah. And he ended up getting Pacquiao after so many fights.
I think it was 8 years. I think it was 8 years today. Matter of fact.
Wow.
Matter of fact, do we have any scholars out there? If your trainer's listening, tell them to inbox me or something. I think it's 8 years today that he timed that right hand. Yeah, he finally landed that punch, and there was some close fights to that. But yeah, Marquez, yeah, that's a very technical fighter, very smart fighter. So he was your motivation coming up, or would you say that's your style? You compare it?
I like Barrera as well. You know, the
There you go.
original Babyface.
I was about to say that when I talked to him today. Marco Antonio,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I grew up watching him. Or watching Morales as well, Eric Morales. Like you said, Pacquiao and Marquez, and who else, man? Like even the old school fighters, Ruben Olivares,
There you go.
Carlos Zarate, all these great fighters. You know, I grew up like I felt like more. I was more technical compared to the big punchers. I mean, and the aggressive type. I mean, I could do a little bit of everything, but like I feel I'm more technical
That means
in the ring.
that means you're thinking when you're inside the ring. To be technical, you're thinking it's like a chess match, and you're making an opponent do different things so you can counter or you could attack off that. A lot of fighters, when they mention they're technical, to me they're a thinker inside that ring.
Yes. I think a lot. You know, like I try to make a mistake and come back with it, attack him, counter him. I like to go a lot to the body, work that body from body to the top, and you know, I think a lot in the ring.
I've seen some of your highlights and seen some of your footage and your pictures, man. You seem to always have that smile inside the ring, man. Always smiling, even at your training. You're getting your hands wrapped and you're smiling all the time. Who gave you the nickname Babyface Assassin? Babyface Assassin.
Eddie Gonzalez, my manager, he gave me that nickname. They used to call me before Chapito. I grew up being called Chapito.
Okay.
So I once I turned pro, I was like, you know what, like give me a different nickname. You know, I've been Chapito all my life. So I was like, you know what, you got a Babyface and you're assassin in the ring, so we're gonna call you Babyface Assassin, and that's how it all started.
Have you had a chance to meet Marco Antonio Barrera at all? I'm sure he's watching your fights. You're under his radar.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I met him. I'll be good though.
The vice president to Golden Boy and the matchmaker, Roberto Diaz. Very good friends with him, man. I'm going to see if I can arrange that for you, or at least get a phone call, or once, especially when this pandemic, when it lifts, you know.
All right. Oh,
yeah.
It'll be great.
Yeah, that would be great. You know, actually, that was one of my favorite fighters. Looking back at Marco Antonio Barrera, what was one of your favorite fights that you enjoyed watching of his?
When he fought Kelly, man. It was Kelly, right? Or Kevin?
Yes,
Kevin.
After Dark. It wasn't. It wasn't the kid from New York, Kevin Kelly, the southpaw. It was the one he had the first After Dark boxing on HBO. I know what you're talking about. When it was just a rock and sock and going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And when he fought Prince too. Prince Ahmed.
Yeah. That's my favorite. That's my favorite fight. I'll tell you a quick story about that. Naseem Hamed would fight all the time, and everybody that I was there, I mean, they were all rooting against him. They wanted to see him get hurt. They wanted to see him get hit. And I had to root for him. I'm telling you why. You know why? This is why. Because I wanted him undefeated. I wanted him to have that 0 by the time he faces Marco Antonio Barrera. Unfortunately, Barrera got stopped by Poison Jones. Junior Jones stopped him.
Mm-hmm.
They had the rematch, and then he outboxed him. Barrera was kind of, you know, he stood within. He was avoiding that big right hand. You know, he didn't want the same thing to happen. So, you know, he had to get back on the horse and start all over to the top to earn that title again. And so I was pulling for Naseem Hamed, man. I said, stay undefeated until that fight signed. The minute that fight was signed, the minute it was on, it was off and cracking. Let it go, let it go. And that was a Picasso. He painted a perfect painting of that. That to this day, that's in my top 5 favorite fighters of all time. I mean, fights, because he just took him to school, man.
No, I actually thought Barrera was gonna struggle, but no, he, like you say, he did the smart fight, and he took the guy. He made him look bad, and
yeah.
I give a lot of props to that, you know, because the style with like the Prince,
yeah,
it's kind of awkward. It's yeah, those are the type of fighters you don't like to fight, you know, those type of awkward style.
Yeah, yeah, and you got to respect his power. And he had the late great Emmanuel Stewart in his corner too, who's one of the smartest trainers, if not the smartest trainer ever to be in the corner. But you know, we have a lot of great trainers, and Emmanuel Stewart in that corner, and then Naseem Hamed with that power. I was kind of nervous at first, but I knew Marco Antonio, that was going to be his night. You know, when I look back at his career, Manny Pacquiao just had his number. Junior Jones just had his number. You know, Evander Holyfield has Mike Tyson's number. And we're going to talk about Mike Tyson in a little bit. I mean, I hate to get off subject, man, but you got me going about boxing, man. You got me talking about Marco Antonio, man. I mean, who's the guest and who's the host, man? Let's talk about you, Daniel. I want to talk about you.
Right.
What kind of student were you in high school, man?
Well, I like school, you know, like even now, like, you know, like I try to keep up with everything so I won't forget it, because after being out of school for a while, you start forgetting stuff because you don't put it on practice. So, yeah. I mean, I wasn't a straight A student, but like I was passing my classes.
There you go.
So
there you go. So you said you're taking online classes right now. What are you majoring in?
I'm taking some classes of theology. All right. Study from the Bible. And so I'm getting into that, you know. I learn more about it, more about the Bible. It interests me. And I like it, you know, and I want to learn more. I like learning new stuff.
Yeah, I like reading about all the miracles that took place. Actually, you couldn't put down all the miracles that actually took place. You know, there's only a few that were written down. But, I mean, miracles happen every day. So one of those miracles is going to be you getting that opportunity, because the Bible says the Lord's going to give you your heart's desire. And I know you go to sleep at night dreaming in new. You hear that ring, you know? Yes, you know, I'm just a step away. Like you said, I won this mandatory fight against Juan Carlos Payano. They got me the chance to challenge Luis Neri. And he agreed to the fight. I threw out the challenge right there, like, you know, let's make this fight. He said, yeah, you know, let's make this. I want to fight you, and me as well. You know, like, I want to make this fight as well. You know, so it's just between the promoters right now, like, you know, the boxing politics right now. So, you know, he wants the fight, I want the fight, and you know, we're just waiting for a date, you could say. Exactly. And you're with PBC, correct? Yes, sir.
I'm with Thompson and PBC.
Okay, right on. That's a great combination. PBC got nothing but dogs in there. They got killers. Well, one thing about them, when they match up, there's no easy fights for their fighters. They don't have time to invest. They don't got time to bring you along. They put you in there with dogs. So it's always a scrap every time you're introduced with being a PBC fighter, man.
No, and I think it's great, you know, because that pushes you even more to become a better fighter. And like some people might see it, you know what, is a competent. No, but no, you know, that's when it brings the best out of you, you know, because it forces yourself to train even harder, to think even harder, and come up with a better strategy to beat the opponent.
You know, a friend of mine, Blake Mckernan, he fought about 2 weeks ago. He was an undefeated fighter. He took his first loss. But since then, I mean, some doors have been opening up. What advice do you have for him, for a fighter that takes his first defeat? What would you say to him?
It sucks, you know, because I'm the type of guy that doesn't like to lose. Yeah. And like, that's why I train hard. That's why I try to like leave it all in the ring, and even train myself to be 100%. I know it sucks sometimes, but like, you know, it's boxing. Anything can happen. Maybe the decision, it was a close fight and it didn't go your way. You know, we got to respect the judge's decision. But like, you know what? There's always room to improve, you know, and use that to motivate you and become a better fighter, even hungrier than when you were before. Maybe that loss is going to help you. There you go. To bring that desire back, you know, because I believe after we've been winning, and all those wins makes us like too confident, you know, on ourselves. We don't work as hard as we used to before. But now, like, I believe everything happens for a reason, you know. So maybe that happened because maybe something's bigger is coming and you got to train even harder, or another door open, and you got to be ready for that as well. Yeah, I mean, you answered my next question. I was about to ask, what have you learned? And what you stated was absolutely correct. I mean, it drives you, and not just that, but it motivates you. I mean, look at Canelo after his first loss. I mean, he's a completely different fighter. He's not your typical Mexicano fighter, you know, sit there and scrap. It's okay to become a boxer. It doesn't take a tough guy to sit there and bang and get your head you know, hit all the time. He has movement now. He counters. He sets traps. A little bit of the Mayweather shoulder roll that works. And
He's what you call, I would say, a complete fighter.
I agree with you. I mean, after the loss with Mayweather, he only became a better fighter. Like maybe before, he would just stand there like just as a regular Mexican style. But now, like you can see him, he rolls with the punches. He ducks in, ducks out. Like so, in a way, like if you see it how I see it, it helps you, you know, because it makes you. Because after winning so much, you don't see your mistakes. You know, oh, you know what? I won. Everything was good. You know, you always make mistakes. There's always room to improve. So I think when you lose, you see all this stuff. You know, so what went wrong? You know, now you pay attention to it. While you were winning, you didn't. So use this as to your friend. You know, use this loss. You know, meditate what went wrong. Meditate what you can improve, and only get better from there.
Exactly, I agree with you. Let's talk about, before we talk about last week's fight. You know, Blake Mckernan, he was on the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones undercard. What did you think about the whole production? What did you think about the matchup? And are you for? I want to call it the senior tour. You know, these old fighters getting themselves in shape and giving us the fans some entertainment.
I mean, it's good. Because who doesn't want to see legends, you know, back in the ring? But at the same time, they might end up getting hurt, you know. So we don't want to see. I mean, everybody likes to see a knockout, but me as a fighter, I don't want to see another fighter get hurt. You know, don't get up from that knockout. You know, because you train to win, but you don't train to, you can say, kill the guy. You know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if people want to see it and these fighters are willing to do it, you know, go ahead, you know. They're legends.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch the fight at all?
I did. Mike Tyson still got it, man. Even though he's 50s, but I mean, the guy trained for it. I was watching a few clips when he was training. He's dedicated. Like I said, you know.
Yeah. Came in at
he showed it that night, you know. But like I believe he wasn't trying to take Jones out. You know, he just trying to entertain the people. And but he looked good, man. He looked scary.
Yeah. I thought at the first couple of rounds he was trying to land that bomb, and then he figured, you know what? Okay, Jones is tying up. You know what? Okay, we're gonna go the distance, but you know, I'm gonna keep throwing punches. It was definitely entertaining, and I'm glad he put the work in as opposed to just showing up for a payday, huffing and puffing, not looking in condition at all. But he definitely did what he needed to do. Got his body in tremendous shape, back to his original fighting weight at 220, and I can see him doing it again. He said he would do it again.
Hey, there you go. You know, I wonder who's he gonna think about going up in the ring with.
Well, there you go. I'm going to let you play matchmaker. I'm going to put you on the hot seat. I'm going to let you play promoter. If you had your choice, if you were Mike Tyson's advisor, who would you want him to share the ring with? If you had your choice.
You know what? We got Lennox Lewis.
Oh, wow. Man.
Yeah. We got that one, and we got Holyfield as well. Either one. Either Holyfield or Lennox Lewis, you know.
I will say this. Holyfield has been training, so, you know, he openly said he wouldn't mind sharing the ring with Mike Tyson again. Although last week's fight, Lennox Lewis, as you know, is also a commentator. He was throwing hints out there. He didn't say anything about a comeback at all, but he was throwing hints out there about the fight that never took place. He was throwing actually jabs, little shots at Riddick Bowe, you know, the fight that never took place. And he said,
yes.
You know, Riddick Bowe doesn't want to get knocked out twice. That's why the fight never happened again. Now, that comment has to go because Mike Tyson's making a comeback, of course. Holyfield announced that he's coming back and he is going to participate in these exhibitions. Riddick Bowe said, hey, I'm willing to come back. This was even before Lennox Lewis said something. So I know Lennox in his mindset, he's probably saying, you know what, let's give the fans exactly what never happened. So he was kind of hinting out there. So it's funny that you do mention Lennox Lewis, and you guys are both from the PVC family. So I would like to see that, him and maybe Riddick Bowe share the ring together.
That'll be good, man. It's like I say, you know, they're legends. You know, they already proved it, and they want to do an exhibition, and, you know, they want to entertain the people. Go ahead, you know.
Exactly. And they're at the end of their career. I mean, and they're legends. Now you're still in the prime time of your career. Before it's all said and done, who would you like to share the ring with if you have the opportunity? Whether 5 pounds down, 5 pounds up, or work something out before it's all said and done. Oh, I would love to mix it up with this cat.
You know what? Well, we got the monster. He's 118. Anytime he might go up, or even with a good diet, I can go down as well. We got him. We got the other champions on the division. We got Luis Neri. If I could get it, I still got unfinished business with MJ, the guy that beat me. Okay. I still want the rematch, man. That's a fight I'll take, But I'll concentrate right now who's in front of me, which is Luis Neri. And hopefully down the line, if it ends up happening with MJ, let's go. I'm here to fight the best. I'm not here to waste time. So let's go.
Well, I'm gonna keep closer track on you, man, because as soon as that fight is official, man, you got to make sure you contact me. We want to help on our page and our website, help promote it and push it as well. I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that, and I know our team is, and I know a friend of mine who contacted me, Jessica Potter. So she goes,
yes.
She said, Rich, you got to get Daniel on the show. And I said, you know what? It's kind of booked this month, but, we're going to make this happen. We're going to make some adjustments. We're going to make this happen. I want to get this kid on as soon as we can. I've been watching you, man. And, yeah, man, I mean, they should have named you Kid Dynamite or something, man, because you're full of dynamite. I mean, once you put your combinations together, man, they just keep flowing, The floodgates open, and those punches come in bunches.
And no, I mean, that's my manager, I'm go out there and I'm gonna do my job, which is to fight, That's my job.
I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna kind of put you in the hot seat. If we had a fighter in the LA area, where do they need to go to get some good sparring? So name some of the gyms out there that man. I mean, there's some good sparring in there. I mean, the door's closed, there's no cameras, and it's just mano a mano, man.
Before the pandemic?
Yes.
I would have to say Maywood. Maywood was the place to go. I was training there as well before this pandemic started, and it was there, and the gym with Manny Robles. That was Legends before. That gym was hot too. I used to go there and get some sparring. Damn, man. Now that I got guys coming to me, it's hard for me to think where the gyms are. I mean, there's a lot of places that they're low, but they got a lot of great fighters, Yeah. They be giving wars. I've been seeing that there's no cameras or nothing, but they be giving wars. Props to them, because that's the only way to get you better.
Yeah, exactly. I want your take on. Did you get a chance to see Joshua Franco and Andrew Maloney? Yeah. Did you have a chance to see the rematch? And if you did, what did you think about the outcome?
I didn't see the fight. I just saw highlights of the fight, and I saw that Franco got a bruised thigh, and it was I believe shut. It was closed. I don't know much about it, but I'm with Franco. I like Franco. He's a great fighter, and I don't know much about the fight. I just knew that the fight got stopped because of the eye.
Yeah, him and his brother Bam Rodriguez, I believe he's fighting this weekend.
Oh, Bam can fight, man. His brother,
yeah,
can fight, man, and that's somebody you got to look for. Those two brothers, Joshua Franco and Bam as well. Rodriguez, right?
Yeah. Bam Rodriguez, Joshua the Professor Franco. We had Andrew Maloney on about maybe 3 weeks ago. We had him the week on right after it happened. Nice kid. I mean, he didn't say anything bad about Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy or Joshua Franco, but he did welcome, hey man, let's do this trilogy and let's do it in Australia, which is rumor has it may take place there. Would you be willing to head to another fighter's backyard for the opportunity at a fight that you really want?
Of course.
In their backyard?
I will. Let's go, man.
How about going all the way down to London, or how about going all the way down to Australia or to China? I mean,
I'm down to go.
That?
You know,
okay.
I'm open for that. You know, like I mean, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to fight. Either his home or your home or away from home. I mean, I won my world title in the first world title, WBA. I won it in Japan, and I made my first defense in Japan too. I was a few hours away from home. A lot.
Go ahead. We lost your screen there, but
yeah.
No, okay, no, we're
you
okay.
Hear me? My bad.
Yeah, yes, no problem. How did the fans treat you up there, and how was that experience?
At the beginning, I mean, because you hear all this stuff, you know, like, oh, you know, in Japan, you gotta knock the guy out, or else the decision's gonna be different. But no, you know, like it was a lot different from that. You know, they know their boxing, they know the sport, they love it. They're respectful people, friendly. Even after the fight, you know, fighting here in the States, you beat their fighter, you get cussed out, you get stuff thrown at you. No, not over there. You know, they show love. I beat the current champion, that was Sean Kubo, back then, and I gained a lot of respect from them, and they came to greet me, and very respectful people, and I love Japan. You know, I had fun, great people, and like I say, you know, they know their boxing.
No, they do, and they love combat sports. I mean, they love two men in the middle of, it's either a ring or cage or, you know, MMA, pancrase. You know, they have pancrase up there. They love gladiators in there. You know, giving everybody a show, a performance. So you're not opposed to going anywhere in the world. I asked that question because I was aware that you did win it on the road. So I wanted to ask what that experience was like, and no, you nailed it. You answered it. Because of this whole pandemic, man, are you willing to take that shot, that opportunity again with you know, how limited crowd?
If I have to, yeah, you know, mentally I'll get ready for that. And I know in the ring it's just me and him, me and the opponent, you know, me against whoever I'm fighting. So that's my focus, you know. I try to forget everybody around me and concentrate who's in front of me.
Speaking of concentrating, I want you to think back of your very first fight, not your amateur fights or not. I'm talking about your very first professional fight. The mindset in the locker room, that ring walk, and the way your stomach felt before that first bell. Now, do any of those feelings ever come back now, today, with this experience that you have?
My first fight, I wasn't even nervous, you know, not even worried. You know, I was just excited to get in the ring. It didn't last long. It just lasted, I believe, like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
I took the guy out with a body shot, so it didn't last that long. So, but yeah, like you could say, not fighting for a while, a couple months, you get a little ring rust, and like that's when you feel kind of like nervous, you know, because you haven't been in the ring for a while, and but once the punching start, all that goes away, you know.
You get your timing back, you get your drilling back, and you know, you're yourself, like riding a bike, you would say. Yes.
I mean, if you haven't ride a bike in a few years, once you start pedaling, you'll get the hang of it quick, because that's what you used to do before, so it's just muscle memory.
In what rounds would you say that you get your second win? Does it just come automatically? It can come in any round, or usually you know your body and say, okay, I'll be getting my second win soon?
Yeah, so well, usually it depends on the fight. It depends how tough the fight is. It depends how much you're forcing your body to go through that. And usually it might happen like in the 4th, 5th round, or maybe the half of the fight. It all depends on yourself and on your opponent.
When you go into a fight and you know it's scheduled for 12 rounds or even 10th round, and maybe in the 5th round, do you ever reserve anything and say, okay, I'm going to save my energy in case we go longer? Or is every round, hey, there's no script for this, it may happen in this round?
Well, yeah, in the beginning, you know, you're going 12 rounds, you know, you can't go all out, because you'll be gassed by the time you hit the later rounds. So usually you try to take a steady pace yourself, but like you say, you never know. Maybe the guy will try to take you out like in the first rounds, because maybe he knows he won't last the whole 12 rounds. But either way, myself, the Team Roman, we get ourselves ready to go even past 12 rounds. We're in the conditioning to fight the whole 12 rounds. So that's how we get ready.
Who's your conditioning coach, and what drills do you run, or what do you do that just puts you over the top in your conditioning? You must do a certain something that gets you in the best condition possible. I mean, do you jog in Denver, Colorado, go up to Big Bear, or what works for you?
Well, my strength and conditioning trainer is Jesus Guillen.
Okay.
He does the strength conditioning. I'll be doing the running, say like training camp. I'll be running at the beach, the park, and like after starting weeks, we go up to Mount Baldy.
Okay.
So I think that's all like what helps me a lot. You know, running up the mountains.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but like, hey, it'll get you in shape.
When you're cutting weight, do you already know without looking at the scale, okay, I'm on weight? Because you know your body so well. Do you know when you're, okay, I'm already done. I'm already ready to go. I already made weight without even looking at the scale.
Yeah, you start getting a little agitated, a little mad because you've been in a diet. I mean, I don't struggle with the weight, but like either way, I believe it affects everybody. Not eating certain things that you want to eat, especially when you're cutting when you're in a diet, you're in training camp, you can't eat. You can say junk food. Hey, who doesn't like some tacos? Who doesn't like some goodies? But like
he said some goodies.
Yeah. So like I try to keep myself at weight, even though I'm not fighting or not. I always try to keep myself at a certain weight. You know, man, no more than 10 pounds. But like once I beat close to a fight, automatically, you know, you start feeling a little light, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I'm close to the weight.
Well, that's what true professionals do. I'll tell you a quick story. About 20 years ago, I interviewed Obakar. I don't know if you know who Obakar is.
Yes.
Motor City Cobra. No, that was Tommy Hearns. I forget Obakar's nickname, but anyways, he did train with Emmanuel Stewart originally and at the Kronk Gym. Well, he came down to the Central Valley, and I interviewed him a day before he was getting to weigh in. Big mistake. I mean, his manager insisted, you know, and I said, hey, well, shouldn't he rest? No, he insisted that I do the interview. I mean, this guy, he didn't want to hear from anybody. I mean, he talked about being agitated. He has a fight going on, and he's cutting weight. And to top it off, we did the interview at a kitchen table, and everybody else is dining. So he's sitting there in front of me, and he was just like, yeah, very agitated. He apologized after the fight because we interviewed him after the fight. But yeah, hey, give the fighter his space and give him his respect or her respect. Those that are cutting weight, because they're literally going through. You know, they're going through hell. They're not going through. You know, it's no cakewalk. What they have to put their bodies through. Your fighter's got to put your body through to be successful. Excuse me. To dedicate yourself to bring the best version of you inside of that ring or cage for all the followers and the fans and everybody that wants to buy that bought tickets and that want to be entertained. So, you know, I respect the fact that you know, as a true professional, you don't go over the 10-pound limit mark. No.
I mean, I could imagine. I seen guys losing so much weight because they're like, they blow themselves up. It's not good, you know. It's gonna affect you in the long run. Yeah. Even during the fight, you can see some guys just body's not responding how it should respond because all that cutting weight. But like even though I don't struggle like they struggle, but like being cutting weight and being like that is still gonna bother you, you know, because you're not used to that.
What are, without giving away too many secrets, man? What are some of the techniques to drop that weight? I know a lot of it could be water weight, that from steam to the hot towels to, you know, old school spitting in a cup, chewing gum. What are some of the old techniques, man? What works for you without giving away too much?
Well, say if I'm losing weight, I always try to lose ahead of time. So
okay.
I think I'm one of the wrong guys to ask that question, but like I'll just put some extra sweaters, you know, and try to like keep myself warm. So like that, I won't be training too hard and burning so much energy because I'm not eating as how I was used to eating. So,
no, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I think I'm thinking about it, but nothing's coming up, you know.
Just yeah, for you, I guess it just comes natural because I mean you don't have too much weight to cut because you take care of your body even when you're not at the fight scheduled. I was in a training camp with I watched the training camp actually. Miguel Cotto's last training camp before he headed to New York before his last fight. It was at Wildcard Gym, and he had a bucket there. And I remember he was talking to his handlers and he left the bucket there. Every so often he would take off his shirt and he would do this to the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't fill it up to the top. I'm not going to tell a story that he filled it up to the top, but it was pretty close, man. I mean, maybe someone was pouring water in there when no one was looking. But afterwards, he poured the sweat out, and I'm just, man, you know, he was cutting. Well, it was water weight. He was cutting because that week he had to head to New York, and you know, before his last fight. So we got a chance to see Miguel Cotto work out, and he was just drenched in there. He was putting in that work.
If you're in the gym a lot, man, you see all that stuff, man. Seen some fighters, they got some techniques that you get kind of worried, you know. Like, hey, this guy might end up passing out, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess they don't stay on weight and they want to fight, you know. So they got to lose the weight, the bad way.
You know what, man? I mean, you can get away with it one time, but in the long run, it's not worth it. I'll tell you a fighter who would just balloon up, and then this cat would always make weight, whatever schedule he was on there, man. And I'm talking about Roberto Duran. I mean, he would make weight. I mean, when he ballooned up for Sugar Ray Leonard, the third fight, I mean, he dropped all that weight, and he always made weight when it hit the scale.
But he wasn't the same, though.
No, yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. He wasn't the same. And that third fight, he didn't let his hands go until that last round. And, you know, it takes a lot out of you. You know, Oscar De La Hoya, when he came into a light against Manny Pacquiao, he had no legs. None whatsoever. So he couldn't impose. And I know he lost weight, as they say, for the hand speed, but you're the bigger man. You want to impose your will on the smaller man. And it just didn't it didn't work out for him. And that's Oscar in his heyday, you know, he was a bad man.
Yeah, he was, you know, but like he went against Pacquiao, you know.
Yeah.
Pacquiao's in another level too.
Exactly. Before we go off subject, man, I want to ask, what was your take on Spence and Danny Swift Garcia?
I thought it was gonna go 12 rounds, split decision for Errol Spence. But Danny Garcia couldn't do much. That jab was there all night. Errol Spence jab, and Errol Spence looked much bigger and much stronger. And Danny Garcia, yeah, he threw his punches, but it seemed like he wasn't doing much to Errol Spence. So he got the unite. I thought it was gonna be more competitive fight, you know, back and forth. But like it was one-sided for Errol Spence, you know, stronger guy. Danny Garcia didn't know how to deal with that jab.
Yeah, right from the first round, Spence applied that pressure and never looked back. And I don't think Danny put anything up except he had a couple times that he did land to the body, maybe a looping right hand, but nothing that posed a threat to Spence or actually make him respect him where he had to change up. He kept the same pressure all night. What I didn't, where I was kind of disappointed on was one, Bud Crawford showed up. I wasn't disappointed about that. But he showed up, who normally doesn't go to fights outside of the top-rank family. He showed up. He's sitting ringside to watch Spence, as if to say, okay, I'm here. Let's make this happen. Right after the fight, they asked Spence, okay, what are you going to do? Who would you like to fight? And all he said is, I want to go back to the ranch. I just want to chill. I want to do this. I want to do that. Not taking anything away from his skill set or his mind frame, but my man, you knew Bud Crawford was there. He was on the Jumbotron. You saw that. Why not? Why'd you leave all those millions on the table? Why not say, you know what? I want to give the fans what they want. You guys know who I want. He's here. I want to fight Bud Crawford. You know what? Get inside the ring right now. And, just imagine this. If he would have called him inside the ring and said, look, let's make this happen. I'll talk to my boss. You talk to your boss. Let's make this happen. No excuses. Let's give everybody what they want because I believe I'm the baddest man at 147 pounds. And none of that was there. Bud Crawford never goes. He always seems to sit there at top-ranked fights. But he went all the way to go see Spence and to see what he has, which means he's tracking him down. He wants to fight. Spence didn't even acknowledge him. What's your take on that?
I mean, you got the guy that right there in front of you, and he wants to fight you. Like, hey, give the people what they want to see. Everybody wants to see that fight, Crawford against Spence. And like you said, give the people what they want to see. People will pay to see that fight. I know if somebody went up to a fight like that, hey, let's go. I know I just finished this fight, but people are asking for it. Let's give them what they want to see. Like I told Luis Neri, like people want to see this fight against me and you. Two Mexican fighters, go all out. Let's give them a war. Let's give them what the people want to see. Two great Mexican fighters.
Yeah, leave your balls in the ring and get down. Now, if you had a fight and he showed up to your fight, he's there watching you.
Yeah.
Why not say, okay, I know you're here. Get in here. Let's make this fight happen. Put the pressure on him. The fans are there. The fans will make this fight. But what I'm saying is that is a win-win situation for everybody. For one, for legacy, to see who is the baddest. Two, you'll never got to pay rent ever again. There's enough money to go around on that piece of pie. And number three, if Bob Arum and Al Heyman can get along to make Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder happen, and they got along great, they made it happen, why not make it happen for these two combatants who right now are the top pound-for-pound fighters in the world? I just don't understand it, only because I was watching a clip earlier today. Actually, it was posted by my friend Lalo. It was a Macho Camacho. It's an old clip. Macho Camacho Sr. He got out of the ring, and he said, I'll take you all on. He goes, Pryor, Brown Bull, Pernell Whitaker. He goes, you can get it. He goes, all you guys. Well, he didn't say that. He said a certain word, but he said, you can get it. He goes, Larry Holmes, anybody. He called them all out. He let them know, I'm the man. I'll fight any of you guys. But he called them out and said, you guys can get it. I want all you guys. Today's fighters, well, I'm going to leave it up to my manager. I'm going to go back to the ranch, or, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to think about it. Those opportunities only happen so often. There's too much money on the table. There's too much legacy on the table. And you know who gets robbed? The fans. But not just the fans, the fighters. Wouldn't you want to put so much money in your bank account that your kids' don't ever have to worry again? Wouldn't you want to put your name in that legacy that whenever they mention Julio Cesar Chavez, Pepino Cuevas, Salvador Sanchez, they mention the Babyface assassin? So it's a win, right? I mean, just think about it. I just put your name in that same breath. And that doesn't happen without taking those risks and calling out those big fighters, which I like the fact, because going into this interview, I knew who you wanted to fight. My people let me know it was clear you want to fight this guy, how you felt about him. You didn't like that loss at all, but you want to stay focused on what's in front of you. So you got some names on the table that you want to take care of, and you're not afraid to address it. Because you want that legacy, you want that belt back, and it's okay to have an extra zero in your bank account, man. Added to that number 9 in front, or 10.
Right? Good, right?
Absolutely.
But like you said, us as fighters, we do it for the legacy. We want to be named like with the top fighters, with the legends. Like you said, the Chavez, the Pepino Cuevas, the Mike Tysons, the Lennox Lewis, all these legends, you want to be named as with them as well, and I think that's what every fighter tries to do, at least from my side, I try to fight the best, because I'm not here to waste time, hey, let's go, what we're here for, we're here to fight the best. Let's go for them.
What can you share with us? What have been hinted to you, without giving away too much, without getting yourself in trouble, with your management team, where they sat you down and said, hey, we're looking at this date and we're looking at this opponent? Because I'm looking at you right now. I'm looking at your cheekbones. You're working out. You're in shape.
I am. I try to keep myself in shape. They say maybe at the beginning of next year. Okay. I'll get ready for that. They haven't gave me a date. I don't know how boxing is. They got to go through all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I try to stay ready. I try to keep myself ready for just, hey, you know what, you ready for this month? And I want to be able to say, yeah, we'll be ready.
I'm going to tell you a short story. I was talking to another reporter, and I told him who I was going to have on the show. And he said, well, Richard, he doesn't talk much, so you're going to have to carry the interview. And I'm sitting back, and I was going, when I hear that as media, I always challenge myself. And you know what I'm thinking? I said, well, maybe he didn't talk much to you. But on the fighter's voice, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. And you've been doing a great job. the way you handle yourself like a true professional. You say the things that need to be said. Your answers are strong, they're direct, and they mean something. And a lot of times, a lot of fighters will be world-class fighters. They just can't handle the stick, which is the microphone. And a lot of times, it robs themselves of opportunity. Whoever your speech coach is or whoever your team is, they're doing a great job with you. I'm sure this isn't your first interview, but you're doing great. I'm just letting you know. Because I've interviewed a lot of fighters, world-class fighters, and a lot of them, I have to sometimes, I really do got to carry it, or, they'll just kind of go off, but your feet are on the ground. You know what you want, and sky's the limit for you, man.
Thank you, Richard. I mean, I wasn't like this before. I used to be worse, but practice by practice, and I try to improve myself as well. Even boxing, I got to, outside from boxing, I got to improve, even to make myself a better person. That's what I try to do.
Absolutely. So you could be able to address questions, from the fans and what have you. I always think about, whenever I see a fighter today, there's a different side of a fighter. I always think, is this guy marketable? Does he have the look? Does he have the charisma? Because even though a lot of fighters go, man, I'm not worried about all that. I just want to fight. Well, no. Well, listen, boxing is a business. And the business part is your manager's job is to get you the most endorsements as possible, to promote you as much as possible. Because if you don't promote yourself, Daniel, nobody else is. And the fact that you took the interview and that you're more than willing, I mean, like I said, I'm looking forward to you. I've always watched you, but, you gained a fan right here tonight. A true fan where I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to rock with this kid. I'm even going to rock his gear, man. So where could we follow you on Instagram? How do we follow you on Facebook or your Twitter, or how can we support what you're doing?
Right now, I just got Instagram. You can follow me on _ Babyface Assassin _ and send me a message, say hi, show some love, and I should be replying back.
Okay, well, we got to get you on Facebook, man. You got to get on Facebook,
yeah,
and you got to get on Twitter. I learned late. Twitter's where it's at. I'm barely catching up on Twitter, but Twitter is where it's at. There's more direction there. Get on that, man. Hey, Daniel, continue to endorse yourself, man. Continue to call out those big names, and pretty soon they're going to be calling you out because you're going to be the big fish in the sea right there. I can see you doing really well with those matchups. They're going to be tough fights, but your work ethic, your professionalism, and the team you got around you, they're going to be those missing pieces to the puzzle that you need. And most important, man, as I don't got to tell you, you put God first, man. Everything is fine and dandy, man. Because I'd rather be for him than against him, man. Rather know him than not know him and walk away. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But no, man, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. And this interview, I was thinking, okay, we can talk about boxing, what he thinks, but I wanted the followers to hear a different side of you, that know that you are taking school, where your faith is at. No, you don't struggle making weight. I always try to give the listeners a different side of the fighter, as opposed to, oh, okay, your basic questions at media day.
Mm-hmm. No, I enjoyed it, and thank you, Richard, for having me here as well, and anybody that doesn't know Daniel Roman, keep an eye out, and I know you guys will like my style. And follow me on Instagram. I should keep you guys updated, _ Babyface Assassin _ and anything comes up, a date or something, I'll keep everybody updated in the media.
Right on, man. Well, how can we get some T-shirts, man? I mean, you got them online, or what are we doing there?
I'm gonna have to talk to the guy that makes the shirts for me.
Okay,
and I'll get back to you.
We're gonna put some fire on your promotion team. I'm gonna put your manager on the hot seat right now, man. Hey, Eddie, let's get those shirts out there. Let's endorse this young man right here. I want everybody around this area wearing those shirts, rocking those shirts, supporting him. It's not a lot of money, but it's still some money, man. I mean, it's coming in, goes to your training expenses, goes to your dietitian, goes to everything that you need to be at the top of the level, man. And, enough said, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to your next outing inside the ring and continuing to follow you, and appreciate you follow me. Subscribe to the channel, The Fighter's Voice, on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/TheFighter's Voice. Every fighter has a voice, and so do you. We've had world champions on our show, and we've had contenders, and we've had a couple pretenders, but nevertheless, every fighter has a voice, man. I mean, and everybody's a fighter, whether they're inside the ring or they're fighting for survival, they're fighting cancer, or they're fighting for their marriage or fighting for a job. you don't need a mouthpiece and some hand wraps to be on the show, man. And you've been doing a great job. You motivated me, man, today. Honestly, you keep me grounded, and you reminded me of why we have the show and why we have the platform.
Thank you, Richard, and I'm happy. You know, I'm happy I got to be here at the Fighters Voice, and everybody can know a little bit about me. And thank you again, Richard, for having me here. And I enjoyed it. You know, I had fun.
Well, my pleasure, man. I want to thank our whole team, and our whole team is now expanding. We're hitting the Stockton area. We now have a studio in Stockton as well as Fresno, California. And, I want to thank everybody behind the scenes. You know, KP, my man, is behind the scenes, man. He's making all this happen. He's the man. He's the engineer, the producer. We also got SHELLY HOLLIS that I want to thank in Stockton, California, who's actually a co-host as well. And then ESCOVEDO, who handles the MMA side. And we're looking to expand the Fighters Voice Espanol, and we're working on Ernesto Amador, man. I mean, the guy is just incredible. You can play a lot of things, but you just don't play boxing, and that's his whole handle. Again, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank your management team, and also Jessica, man. I mean, Potter, man. And, I know she's starting her own handle as well, too, man. But you've been a class act. I appreciate it. And I'm going to make sure I send you the link, man, after the show. So after the show's going to play, I'm going to say it's a wrap, but the music's going to play. Go ahead and hold on. KP will say, hey, that we're not recording anymore, so then I can talk to you real quick while we're not recording, and then we'll call it a wrap, man. But is there anything I left out? Anything at all that you want to say to anybody that's out there, or give a special shout-out, or you want to thank anybody? Anybody in your mind, the platform is yours.
Yeah, I mean, to all my fans, thank you all for your support since the beginning, and all the new fans that I gained. Thank you a lot. And the new fans that I'm about to make, keep up with me. And I know you guys will like my style of fighting. And I try to leave everything in the ring. I want to thank my management team, Eddie Gonzalez, Team Roman, and Fundamental Gym for opening the doors to me to train with this pandemic going on. And thank you all. And thank you, the boys, for having me here. Richard, thanks again, man.
Appreciate it, man. Team Roman, man. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. Hey, it's a wrap here. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice, with our guest today, the future champion, the future two-time champion, Mr. Roman, Team Roman. It's a wrap here. Thumbs up for Richie.
Remember, it's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.